Mexico. The rapid growth of remote work has given people more freedom to pick the places they like to live and earn a living. And lately, more Americans have been choosing Mexico, including Mexico City. CBS News correspondent Enrique Acevedo reports on how the sprawling capital, with its culture, great food, and affordable real estate, has become a work-from-home paradise, and shows us how the new arrivals are being welcomed.
The sights, sounds, and flavors of Mexico City are tempting for people looking to live the Mexican dream, like John Hyatt.
You know, the cafe.
Okay, let's wait a minute because Luis just joined. Are you there, Luis?
Hi, teacher. Good morning, everyone.
Hello, man. Good morning. So we are doing an activity, right? The activity is, you're gonna watch the videos again, grab a pen and a notebook, because you are going to summarize the information from both videos and present it to the class. The idea is that you use the words that you hear in the video so you can copy them and you can start using new vocabulary, not in your own words, in the words that comes from the video.
Okay, right.
Ready? So let me know when you're ready so I can play the video.
I am ready, teacher.
Excellent. Let's go.
The restaurants, everything, you know, just seeing the food on the plates and people sipping coffee. It's a very pleasurable experience to just be walking up and down the street.
Born in North Carolina, Hyatt helps U.S. and Canadian firms that are currently manufacturing in China relocate to Mexico. And it's not just companies looking to come here. Mexico is now a top destination for young professionals who work remotely.
Technology has absolutely made Mexico City and living down here much easier. You know, we talk about things like rideshare apps. You know, we have all of that.
The influx of American expats is transforming some of Mexico City's most traditional neighborhoods. But some say the change was already underway.
So what I'm hearing is that the pandemic didn't really start that. It just, like with everything else, accelerated.
Yeah, accelerated. That's the perfect. It just threw some gas on the flames. It was going to happen anyway.
Rents have soared in Colonia Roma, a quiet, walkable neighborhood in a city tortured with bumper-to-bumper traffic. Here, old world charm is fading. In its place, award-winning restaurants and hip coffee shops where customers speak English more than Spanish.
Our cultures are kind of merging in many ways. Mexico is becoming more Americanized, and the United States, Americans are taking a lot more interest in Mexican culture and cuisine.
Most locals welcome the new arrivals and their dollars with characteristic Mexican warmth. But tensions are growing around what some are calling gentrification.
I think there's a positive and negative to all of this that you're mentioning, and yes, it's not just Mexico, right? That's being gentrified, as you say. There's many cities. I think that some of the positives, I think that they drive economy. I think people will get paid higher salaries.
Alexandra Demu is the founder of Welcome Home Mexico, a relocation and real estate service. She helps expats with everything from lease negotiations to school interviews for their children. She says business has been booming since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, with no signs of slowing down.
Now we have younger Americans that can work remotely, looking for a better quality of life, and they're coming now to Mexico City.
And when you say a better quality of life, what is it about Mexico City that Americans like so much?
They love the climate, they love the people, the culture, the food, the beauty. Yes, of course, safety can be an issue. And when I say quality of life, I mean, of course, we can't avoid the fact that your dollar goes a long way in Mexico, no? Yeah. Things are still relatively reasonable in Mexico.
According to State Department data, there are over 1.6 million U.S. citizens living in Mexico. But that number only includes people who have applied for legal residency, which most remote workers don't do. Mexico City's tourism agency says that just in the first half of this year, over 1.9 million foreigners arrived at the city's international airport, spending almost $2 billion on hotel stays in the capital.
Mexico has always been an important destination for US travelers, as I'm sure you know. And I have to say, our Mexican hosts are incredible.
Catherine Powell is the global head of hosting for Airbnb, where she oversees the host insights and research team. She says more people are visiting Mexico and staying for longer periods of time.
So we've seen an incredible growth in long-term stays in particular. So these are stays over 28 days or more. And you mentioned Mexico. I mean, Mexico, now 1 in 5 of their nights booked are for long-term stays.
In 1978, the Mexican poet Octavio Paz said, "In general, Americans have not looked for Mexico in Mexico. They have looked for their obsessions, enthusiasms, phobias, hopes, and interests." Nearly half a century later, many wonder if this might still hold true for Mexico's newcomers. For CBS Saturday Morning, Enrique Acevedo, Mexico City.
Nestled in a trendy part of Mexico City is a small symbol of resistance. This figure, the so-called patron saint against gentrification. Activists and researchers warn a digital nomad influx in the capital is exacerbating inflation and transforming neighborhoods into expat bubbles. The patron saint's creator, artist Sandra Valenzuela, sees the phenomenon as a rising threat.
What happens is that when people do not have enough money to live in their country cities, they end up going to cheaper countries where they can afford to live. In the end, it's a problem that moves, just as it displaces people.
Nearly 2 million foreigners arrived at the Mexico City International Airport in the first half of this year, approaching the record 2.5 million in the first half of 2019. Demand for short-term rentals has surged 44% over the same period, according to market research company AirDNA. Marco Ailing, a writer and content creator from California, says the math of remote work makes sense.
There's obviously a lot of advantages if you can earn in dollars and spend in pesos.
In the Lux area of Condesa, some homeowners are turning to rental platforms like Airbnb. They can earn $1,300 a month in profit, according to the Neighborhood Association president, in a city where most workers earn less than $3 an hour on average. The stark divide between rich and poor is well known, but some say even rich residents are being priced out. And the local atmosphere is changing.
A la llegada de estas personas y con la vida nocturna.
When all these people arrived and with all the nightlife, noise and the amount of people passing by increased, it did not feel safe anymore and they could not rest.
Still, Ailing says there are some intangible positives to keep in mind.
I think a lot of people are dispelling a lot of the negative preconceptions about Mexico. They're realizing that no, it's not just narcos and violence and poverty. There's beautiful sides of this country and they're celebrating that too.
Okay, I will give you 5 minutes to formulate your summary.
Okay, teacher.
1, 2, 3. Action. If you need inspo, here's the vocab. All right. Time's up. Let's practice what you have. So who wants to start?
I think I can.
You can do this. Excellent. Okay, let's begin with Louis. I'm gonna take notes while you speak.
Okay.
So let's begin. 1, 2, 3. Action.
In the last years, the flux of foreign people has been exacerbated, in particular after the pandemic,
Okay.
because remote work has been more accepted. So we have observed a constant influx of people coming to work to Mexico City, looking for a better life. In particular, in the video, they were talking about quality, a better quality of life. And this one, because the Mexican people, food, culture, even when security even when security could be an issue. And they also mentioned that the dollar exchange rate helps to this, right?
Good.
In particular, also they were talking about this has increased the cost in many parts of the city, because these foreign cannot afford the cost in their origin countries. So when they go to a new inexpensive place, this cause a displace of native inhabitants, no? Because when they are arriving to this new city or to these new places, because an increase in the prices. So native people also cannot afford the cost of living or living there. So this is a, a, a trendy phenomena that we are observing here in the city. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Good job. I'm gonna take these. Right. I have your notes. Some of the things that you say are very, very well put. And I'm gonna give you observations, but after everybody pass. Okay. So
thank you.
Pay attention to the rest, and very, very good. Excellent. Let's go now with Victor. What do you have, man?
Yes, teacher. Gentrification, the face of Mexican dream. Mexico has become a world for home of American people that are looking the Mexican dreams that nestle with our culture, climate, and food. Influx of American people like digital nomads that are able to afford a wealth in our country. For example, in 2022, they spent almost $2 billion, against in 2021, and they spent only $1.6 billion. I think. Influx of American span is very important to our country because they with a lot of money, and there are a lot of people, for example, one example is the one person that manufactured in China, and he was relocated from Mexico. So we can have more, not only more money, also more experience in the persons that work in our country. And all these phenomena are transforming neighborhoods. Mexico is not only narcos and violence; it's also a beautiful place to live.
Okay. Interesting. Did you your the way you speak, Dick? Do you notice when you have a like no? Do you what do you do when you have a question or a doubt on some structures? Do you just say it, or do you just like expect for the best, or what do you do?
When I have a question about a structure,
Or a connector that you need to say, like what do you do when you have a question like that while speaking?
I try to use the first that I think that is more easy to use.
Ah, okay. Yes, I agree with you. That was a question I had, especially with you, because there are some expressions that yeah, you bring it to the easiest form, and that's a good way. That's a good way to speak. Mhm. Interesting. Okay, very good. Very, very nice. And you're using a lot of vocabulary. I really like it. Okay, let's go now with Sophie. 1, 2, 3, action.
Yeah, well, the first video talk about how Americans like the Mexican culture, food, and etc. So they find they they find the Mexico City a good place to live. They say that many young professionals removed to Mexico City, and this fact expand the neighborhood, the commercial and businesses in neighborhood. They say a word that I don't remember, but I catched to describe the neighborhood. But well, this type of neighborhoods just as Roma, Condesa, and etc. So when these people come to live to these neighborhoods, the business increase in there. So there are more cafeterias and everything. They say emerge. Many business emerge, and the economies of the city, of course, emerge too. They also mentioned that after COVID-19 pandemic, increased the stay in the hotels and Airbnbs. Usually, the people rent an Airbnb for 28 days or more now, actually. So it increased. Even I don't know if I understand very well, but the director of Airbnb told that even more than London cities or London states or something like that. So Mexico City is more rentable and affordable for foreign people. So they stay for a long time here. And yeah, it's American people think that the attractive of the city is the culture, people, the climate too. And there is like 1.6 million US citizens live in Mexico. So it's a lot of people. And the other video talks about that how Americans make a trendy neighborhoods in no, it's nestled. They mentioned they were nestled at the beginning, but I don't remember how they use it. But well,
You try to use it then. If you don't remember how they use it, you try to use it.
Okay. They talk about how people nest. I want to use the noun, not the verb. No, it's the verb. Yeah. They nestled in a trendy neighborhoods of the city.
Much better.
And it is because they speak that when people cannot afford a good life in their countries or in their cities, they move to another. That is the case in that some foreigners come to Mexico City. But the problem is that they replace the people that actually live here. So, yep. They replace people, and I forgot my idea. Sorry. Yeah, and there's a lot of digital nomads actually, and it makes that there's a lot of noise. Well, some woman said that there's a lot of noise because they come and the business are a lot because they are here and they consume. So at night they also have a nightlife, and it takes also like it's as if they replace us that we live here in many areas. So yeah, I think that it's everything.
Good job. Okay. You spoke a lot. Very like that one. Very, very good. Okay. Very good, guys. Very, very good. Your summaries are very nice. And I really like when you speak freely because I can really spot the positive things or the things that you dominate the most and the opportunity areas, right? It's very clear. Both of them are very clear when you speak. So let's talk about these observations that you can do whenever you're listening to yourself. Okay, because some of them are words that you can improve, and of course, or make it not more complex, because something that for example Victor mentioned, and the reason I asked him why he uses the easiest way, it's kind of relative, because the easiest way will be very similar to Spanish. So whenever we are trying to find the easiest way of communication, it becomes sometimes far from English, far from the real structure that we should be using. So it can be kind of tricky. For example, something that the three of you, like globally, the three of you could have used and that nobody used was comparatives. For example, Sophie, you were talking about a place that can remove it, good place to live. they find Mexico City a good place to live. Right? If you say this, I will expect that you say better instead of good. Right? And also you need to use a connector over here that you forgot. But precisely describing places or preferences should always be followed by comparatives. And this is something that happened to you, but also to the rest. For example, in the case of Luis, you have expressions like the foreign, the price or the cost of living, something like that, in these new places. So talking about these new places, of course, everybody knows that we are talking about Mexico City. So you could have used something like a cheaper cost of living, a more affordable cost of living that can give you more interaction with how English works. So this is when the dilemma happens, especially for advanced speakers, because we are looking for the easiest way of communication. But the way we are looking for the easiest way of communication is so revolting. There's a lot of information that you can concise in a simple form. English is more about concising information. As you can see, I omitted a lot of information in the second part. Like this, in these new places section, this line is either not relevant and also not speaking about what your intention, your real intention. Do you know what part I mean, Luis? Or what observation I'm making? Because they look like two different ideas.
Yes. The main idea is expressing that the costs are reduced in the destination.
Is reduced.
It's reduced. Yes. So yes, it reduced. In the new in the new place where they are arriving.
Exactly.
But not how this place is or where it is the place. The condition of the place are not relevant.
Exactly. So in the connector in gives you information about getting inside something, but that is confusing because we are not talking about location as you say. Exactly. We're talking about cheaper, we're talking about better costs, we're talking about more affordable way of living, and those expressions are more about the point you wanted to make.
Yes, the point, the place maybe, or even get more important in the first one.
Which one?
In the first sentence, the cost of living in these new places, the places take more importance.
Exactly, definitely. It's taking the star spot when actually we are talking about money.
Yes.
Precisely. Good. The thing is that I really want you to find the reasons why I make these observations, so you can use things. So technically, even though we are advanced, and even though we have seen comparatives since you started your English education, like we may consider comparatives a kindergarten topic, we never use it. That's something so peculiar that I have found in my students. They evolve, they become advanced speakers, but they continue saying something like more good or more big, or even mistakes like more bigger, that it becomes like the classic mistake, is redundant. So comparatives is always an issue for students. Whenever you use them correctly, then you are becoming a better speaker. Okay. Now, in the case of Vic, for example, you could have used it also a lot, actually, because you were comparing a lot, and you explicitly said more easy. Explicitly, you said more easy. What's the correction?
Easier.
Easier, yes. and you know what? I had a deja vu, because you also did that on Quick.
Yes.
yes. This specific thing happens very constantly in Quick too. So it's very interesting. Like, again, it's the same observation. Is even though it's an easy topic, we don't use it because we assume, I don't know why we don't use it, but you should. You definitely should. No, you must. You definitely must. Got it?
Yes.
That's right. In this case, it's for everybody. The comparatives is a global thing that I have noticed on all of you guys. Okay, now let's go into more individual stuff. Okay, can I erase this? Yes?
Yes.
All right. So the first person who talked was Luis. In the case of Luis, I took a note that I wanted you to repeat the idea of exacerbated. You said that something has been exacerbated. Can you repeat what you said when you spoke about this?
Yes, that the the influx of the foreign influx has been exacerbated, specifically after the pandemic.
The foreign influx has been exacerbated. Okay. Okay, let's talk about this. This is a very interesting one. If you're talking about structure, have I passed you the structures handbook? No, right? I didn't pass you this.
I don't think so.
Okay, I haven't passed it because I have it incomplete for you, especially for you because you are advanced speakers and I need to complete it with some additional information before I pass it to you. So I have over here.
The bin is not necessary there.
Aha! Exactly. Yes, brother. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The bin is not necessary, but you use it a lot.
Yes, I don't know why.
That's why when I was listening to you, something sounded strange, but I didn't know what because I didn't know if you said exacerbated or exacerbating ing. So then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna make him repeat this because this was so tricky.
No, I said the first one, but I don't know why I constantly add it to be verb there.
That's a very I know similar to Victor. It was a deja vu from the past. You have always added been in unnecessary places.
Yes. I need to drop it.
Yep, you need to drop it. Exactly. Yes. And the thing is, I know the difficulty because the word has been exacerbating also was correct. I mean, according to the context in what you wanted to say, the two sentences were correct. So that's why I was so confused what you really said. And I got distracted from the main idea because I couldn't distinguish which structure you were using. An American person will always try to understand if you're talking in this moment or you're talking in past. Well, in present. Has exacerbated is technically present.
No, to be honest, I think I used the first option.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you. This is more you.
Yes. Okay, I'll be more careful.
Yeah, definitely. Every time you use the word actually have and has, pay attention to your own words so we can take care of that. Okay? Now, something important. The word security is not equivalent to the word safety. Okay? According to the dictionary, the word security is the activities involved in protecting a country. So are the police, because they are protecting the country. You know, the police. That's the reason in the mall you will see people with the label security because they are in charge of the safety. The state of being safe and protected from danger. So the person who is in charge of security is the person the security personnel is in charge of safety. The safety of the people.
Okay, so security is like the media and safety is the objective, the target.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay.
Super important. Security is a target.
Are very different.
Very, right? Very, very, very.
It's not related, but not the same.
Exactly. It's the people in charge. Safety is the objective. The target. As you say. So,
okay. Yes.
In the video, which one did they use?
The map.
Is here.
But some say even rich residents are being priced out.
I think that was said by a woman dressed using a blue. I don't know how to say it. Yes.
A
blue dress, other blue clothes.
Yeah, what they're talking about.
Video teacher, where the woman said that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Your dollar goes a long way in Mexico.
Welcome Home Mexico, a relocation and real estate service. She helps expats with everything from lease negotiation
They love the people, the culture, the food, the beauty. Yes, of course, safety can be an issue. And
Safety can be an issue.
Safety can be an issue. That's the one. All right, some words. I think in this case you are similar to Vic. You're looking for words, or you use words that are similar to Spanish. It's very interesting. You use words that are similar to Spanish, and your brother uses structures that are similar to Spanish, not words. It's like you're similar but different, you know? That's so weird. Yeah. That's what happened with you. Yes. Has been exacerbated. Yeah, no security issue.
And Sofia looking for us as pathetic.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Look at this. The word. I want you to repeat, because I remember that you quoted this woman, because you were speaking about foreign people cannot afford their own countries.
Yes. She mentioned something about native people being displaced by foreign new neighbors.
Perfect. Let's talk about that. When you are talking about when you're quoting, mention according to who. Especially when you're like the full fact, like you mention it as a fact, but technically this was an opinion. So you can use expressions such as some people may think, you know, or a lady assured, a lady measured, what's the word? A lady, another word. Imply. I forgot. Quote, no. Stated. Assured, stated, or said. So then you can be more specific, because all the information that you gave were facts that the information that you heard on the video, but only one was not a fact. This one in particular.
This is based on the opinion of maybe, I don't know who is there.
Whoever is there, like the person who was interviewed at the moment.
Yeah.
Thought that, but as you can see, nobody speaks about that. That's kind of her opinion.
Okay.
She's like a Mexican Karen.
Yes, so I'm transforming an opinion into a fact.
Exactly. If you don't mention who, and if you don't say that, then it sounds like a fact.
Okay.
And if you hear her words, it's like American people cannot afford living in the United States, so they come to Mexico. They cannot afford living in the United States with a major's degree and PhDs. I really doubt so.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Yes,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, you know. Her opinion was like, really? But hey, she's probably angry. I don't know. She looks angry.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, these are the observations for you, brother.
Thank you.
Take your notes, take it into consideration. Let's go now with Victor. Vic. let's talk about the first word you said. Mexico has been a word. Okay, the first sentence, actually the first sentence that you said, can you repeat it to me? Mexico has been?
Mexico has become a word for home, for American people, something like that.
That one, I didn't understand it. Become a work from home like this?
a place for home.
Okay. Yes, you were missing some information. Mexico has become, you could have said, has become a city of work from home. You wanted to join these words, no?
Yes.
That was a good strategy. That is not easy, you know. That is not easy. Mexico has become a city of work from home living. Because one of the things that join words like with a hyphen is when you use them as adjectives.
Okay.
Taking into consideration that an adjective describes a noun.
Okay.
So every time you want to join words like this, make sure they are describing something.
Okay.
I teach this in B1 and B2, and let me show you another example. Intermediate, where are we? Intermediate. Look at this. Oops. Over here. What happened after an 11-year-old boy was accused of murdering his pregnant soon-to-be stepmom? Look at the hyphens.
Okay.
The word 11-year-old together is describing the boy.
Yes.
And it's not years in plural, as you see, because by rule, adjectives are never plural.
Yes.
And on the other side is soon-to-be stepmom. You know, a pregnant, soon-to-be stepmom, which is pregnant is a description for the woman. Soon-to-be is a description of somebody that is going to become the stepmom.
Yes.
And yes, if you want to screenshot this one, that you can take it to read. Ready?
Yeah.
Good. Another one. 2 million. Watch out with the word $2 million. This is a Spanish structure. When you're talking about numbers in English, you never use of. Listen to the guy speaking, and you will hear he never uses of.
U.S. citizens living in Mexico, but that number only includes people who have applied for legal residency, which most remote workers don't do. Mexico City's tourism agency says that just in the first half of this year, over 1.9 million foreigners arrived at the city's international airport.
Over 1.9 million foreigners. Never use of.
Spending almost $2 billion on.
Spending almost $2 billion.
Yes.
So never use. of when you say million. Okay, those are the smallest mistakes. Now, one of the biggest ones can be used, for example, changing the word I think for an adverb. You should change this into an adverb. What do I mean? You were speaking about an approximate number because you didn't remember how many millions exactly, right?
Okay.
So this characteristic made you say something like this: 19 or 15 million dollars, I think. This can be replaced by an approximate of or around 19, or use the lowest number, $15 million. Another way to attack it is using the adverb, which is reportedly no, because it speaks about another person reporting it. That can be yes, it is reportedly a lot of money. Do you understand the word reportedly?
No.
Okay, that's gonna be new vocabulary. So let's transform. This adverb is super useful. C1. This is advanced vocabulary. Action pick.
Reportedly, according to what some people say. The band have reportedly decided to split up.
Decided is present.
Decided.
Exactly.
The band have reportedly decided to split up. The most reportedly, the president's idea has gone in for a lot of criticism. This is nice.
So reportedly, the president's idea says that somebody told this person that it was the president's idea. You know? And reportedly decided to split up is somebody decided, or somebody said that the band decided to split up. So he will say, somebody in the video said that it was a lot of money. So you don't speak about the exact amounts.
Okay.
You see, these adverbs are super useful.
Yes.
Super, super useful.
Okay.
Very good. And finally, a beautiful. Did you say a beautiful place to live or a beautiful place of live?
I don't remember, but
what would you say?
I will say a beautiful place to live.
You are correct. Then this is erase. Okay, that's it. So these observations, learning adverbs for you in your personal case, Vic, that's gonna help you a lot. Let me pass you a list of adverbs so you can check the definition of them. That's gonna help so much with you. And don't forget to use comparatives.
Okay.
Okay? Good job. Good
Thank you.
job. All right, and finally, Sophie. Sophie, what is the past of catch?
What is the meaning or
What is the past?
Catched.
Oh my God, Sophie. Oh my God.
No,
Catch is an irregular verb.
Yeah.
And you mentioned catch it many times. I was like, what is catch it? You know? No, catch it. Okay. Catch, caught.
Caught.
The past of catch is caught. Okay.
Okay.
Find the mistake.
Okay.
The first video talk about this and that.
Talk.
Exactly. We keep forgetting the S. That's so important. And that probably is for, like, Luis, you have improved that. Now you don't forget to use the S so much. Very nice. But Victor, you still have some issues with this one. Watch out for your conjugations, eh? Because you're talking in past very well. You're talking in, probably we need to practice regular verbs in the case of Victor. But in present, we always forget the S. That's an standard in the group. Be careful with there, guys. They find Mexico City a good place to live. That's what we said. Remove to Mexico City. And there are 3 mistakes more that I want to cover, which is she told that. In cafeterias. Cafeterias should be changed in your mind to coffee shops. Similar to Luis, the word cafeterias exist, but they are not the same.
Okay.
All right. She told that, be careful, change it to, she said that. And the first video talks about all these mistakes, mini mistakes, can cost you a speaking test. Definitely. So there are very small mistakes that are mistakes from probably B1, A2, that we keep saying because it's a habit, that we need to break. It's like biting your nails, Let's break.
Yeah, I think that I have a lot of them of basic mistakes.
Yeah, well, your level of vocabulary is higher, so you should keep track of those errors so you can change them as soon as possible. Okay, and something very important that I want to cover before we leave is the following. We spoke about this in previous classes. Check this out. After COVID-19 increased the stay by, I don't remember how many percent. By let's say 40%. We spoke about this in the class this week. We are thinking in Spanish and we say Después del COVID-19 aumentaron las estadías por 40%. So, en español tiene mucho sentido. Pasándolo a inglés, after COVID-19 increased, I understand that no COVID-19 increased. Person verb complement, who is doing the action?
COVID?
Ajá.
No.
When you actually meant after COVID-19, comma, person verb complement. What increased?
Stay?
Only one stay?
No. Stay. Stays?
Exactly.
Stay.
Stays increased by 40%. That's a classic Spanglish translation. When you talk about transitive verbs, pay attention to the position of your subjects. Because we are thinking in Spanish and we pass directly. This doesn't work in English. So take a note while Jessie passes attendance. Hello, Jessie. Good night.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I will take attendance to Luis.
Yes.
Hi, Jessie. Good morning.
Hi, Luis. Good morning. Thank you. Victor.
Víctor ya se fue, pero sí está acá.
All right. Jesús.
Chucho no vino.
Sophie.
Present, Jessie.
Hi, Sophie. Thank you. Good morning. And
It's absent.
That's all. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks to you, girl.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Have a nice day.
Thank you to you. Thank you.
Right. So careful with transitive verbs in Spanish. This happens when you are thinking in transitive verbs that have an object and when the person is implicit. You need to mentalize it. You need to speak standard full in person verb complement, person verb complement, person verb complement. You need always a person first who does the action. And that's it. Those are the most important observations for you, girl.
Okay, teacher. Yeah.
All right,
Thank
let's
you.
keep on working. Let's keep on working. That's very nice. This exercise is nice to make you listen to yourself. Next time, we're gonna take care of that. Right?
Okay.
Good job, my people. What a great class. What a great activity. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Thursday.
See you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.